Hello and welcome to this Astranti video where we will be going through some of my top tips for self-study. Now, during these unprecedented times, many of you will be doing more work from home and many of you will also be doing some self-study from home. And it can be difficult to adjust to that environment, particularly if you're used to working in an office and you're around people. It can be very difficult to transition from that to being on your own, a little bit isolated and in charge of managing your own workflow. And these tips are designed to help you adjust and make that transition so that you can work from home or study at home effectively and make the most out of your time. Now, of course, it will require some self-discipline. All of these things do. You're going to have to try and force yourself into these habits. The first step is always the hardest, but once you get into a routine of this, it becomes more and more easy. So here we are. Here are my top 5 tips for working from home or for self-study. Tip number 1 is to listen to music. Now, the idea with this is that music puts you in a better mood. It can make you feel happy. And the key there is that it reduces stress and anxiety. So if you're person that's prone to stress and anxiety, particularly if you're studying, then music can help to relax you, and that helps you to be more focused and concentrate more easily throughout the day. So the point is, it helps with your mood. Now, there are certain kinds of music that are better than others. Typically, you don't want to listen to music with lyrics. Probably want to avoid heavier, more intense types of music. The best type of thing to listen to is something like classical music or jazz. If that's not the kind of stuff you usually listen to, then maybe give it a go. You might find something you like. But those are the sorts of music that generally help to improve your mood. The second tip, very important, stay hydrated. Drinking enough water is really important for keeping your brain from having to struggle against the effects of dehydration. This is going to allow you to think more clearly than if you get dehydrated. And that's particularly true if you've had coffee. Now, there's no evidence to suggest that coffee causes dehydration, but if you've had a lot of coffee, that increases your heart rate and your adrenaline, and your brain function goes up, and that's going to have its impact on your brain. It makes you feel more tired. So if you're feeling more tired and you're dehydrated because you've not had enough water, you're going to really struggle to focus and get any work or studying done. Another key thing about hydration is that it does help to reduce stress. Drinking enough water and staying hydrated can keep your levels of stress and anxiety down. That's going to help you be more effective when you're studying. And as I said, water is generally the best, or perhaps some kinds of tea, like herbal tea, things with a high water content. And you want to try and cut down on your caffeine as much as you can, because that's going to make you feel more tired in the long term. Tip number 3 is to, where possible, have a separate study space from your leisure space or your fun space. The idea here is that it keeps your work mind or your study mind separate from your personal mind, where you may be more engaged in fun activities. So if you have the space, have a study space that's separate from the space where you engage in recreational activities. It's just going to help you mentally to separate those two spaces so that you're not concerned and worried about work or study when you're trying to relax and have fun, and you're not too relaxed when you're trying to study. And one thing you can do, you can make the gap bigger by doing something in between. So when you finish studying, before you go to relax or to engage in recreational activities, perhaps do an activity in between that will make that gap feel bigger. So perhaps doing some of our next tip would be some exercise. Okay, exercise is really, really important for mental health and your physical health too. So you could go for a walk, go for a bike ride, just get out and get some fresh air. And if you do that in between your work time, study time, and your leisure time, then, as I said, it helps to make that gap between the two slightly bigger. It's going to help you to stay healthy. And it's really important to have a change of environment, particularly if you're sat at a desk all day and then your leisure activities involve either sitting at a desk again or maybe sat in front of a screen. It's good to just get a change of environment so you're not stuck in the same place all day. And the final tip is to try, where possible, to maintain a routine. Now, this is going to be whatever works best for you. Not everybody likes getting up at 6 in the morning to get an early start. Some people are better later in the day. Perhaps you'd like to start slightly later and finish slightly later. Whatever works for you, do that. But the trick is to try and do it every day. Stick to that same routine. So if you're going to start slightly later, that's fine. But have a time that you want to start by at the latest, and know that that means you've got to finish at a certain time in the day, and that helps to have clear blocks of time where you can study and work, and that is separate from the time where you can do whatever it is you want to do with your free time. Okay, so those are my top 5 tips for working from home or from self-study. Okay, I myself am currently working from home, and of this list I've decided that I'm going to try harder to stay hydrated. I'm going to cut down on the coffee and drink more water, and I'm going to try and get some more exercise, particularly in between my work times and my leisure times, and I've picked those 2 off the list to personally try out over the next 2 weeks. Okay, so have a look through this list, pick a few. You don't have to do all of them, but maybe just a few of them are going to help you to work better from home. Okay. Stay safe, best of luck in your exams. Perhaps I'll see you in another video. So if you found that video helpful, remember to like and subscribe on YouTube to make sure you're getting all the latest Astranti updates. And you can also find us on other social media platforms. We are on Twitter and on Instagram, and you can find us on Facebook in a number of different places. We have groups for operational strategic management case studies. So have a look on Facebook and see if you can find the right group for you.